All right. Type screen. Okay, should be sharing my screen. I am going to throw a couple links into the chat and I will try to place these in again. If more people come in and we can send these, well, I'll have these available for everybody as well. So we'll put those in the chat. Thanks everyone for showing up today or watching the recording, whatever it is you're doing. I'm Kate DeForest. Happy to be here to talk about website accessibility. This platform that we use here on the Oswego campus is called Drupal. That is the one that I am most familiar with. However, these same principles can apply to things like WordPress. They do apply to Laker Life, any other website platform that you might use. So I am going to go over some of the specifics of how to do things within Drupal. But again, these principles do apply to all different kinds of platforms and such. So with that being said, one of the links in the chat is the website accessibility page, which is where we are right now. And you can get to that by going to oswego.edu/accessibility and then going to the tutorials page and finding the website accessibility. Now I have a clone of this page that I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to be doing things on the back end, and everyone is welcome to follow along on the website accessibility page. If you are, excuse me, if you are an editor in Drupal, I invite you to log into your own site at the same time and kind of follow along on your site as well. And I will do my best to keep an eye on chat questions. But Michelle or Lexi or anyone else who happens to pop in, if you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt in case I'm not catching it. So when you start off by logging in, we're not going to go through the whole login process, but once you log in and you get to your page in edit mode, this is what we are looking at. And in order to incorporate the 5 basic principles of accessibility, we're going to walk through some of those steps. Of course, the 5 principles of accessibility are structured content, alt text and captions and videos, embedded links, using color and appropriate, not appropriate language, clear language, plain language, and also appropriate language. Now, color is sort of the exception on websites, specifically within Drupal for the Oswego site. We have a lot of the colors already sort of baked into the templates. We have a lot of the font sizes, things like that kind of baked in. So you do have capability to change things, but you don't have free reign. So there's not a whole lot that we can do with color. So we're going to kind of breeze over that one. If we take a look at the website accessibility page, I kind of step through all of these as best I can. So we talk about the benefits of accessibility, we talk about how they can help people, and then we get down just a little bit to this heading that says to style a heading. And that is where we get into like the structured content part. So we're going to go back over into the back end of things. We're going to find structured heading, identifying content types. Now, as you can see here, I've got just plain paragraph text, followed by a paragraph, another paragraph text, followed by another paragraph text. These need to be headings. Headings are helpful for sighted readers because as readers, we don't read every word of a website or a document. We skim, we scan, right? We look for visual cues that tell us there's a new section or a new paragraph. That's usually indicated by larger font size, maybe a bold. People who use screen readers can also scan a page, but they use auditory cues. If everything is created as a paragraph text, there are no auditory cues. Everything is the same, paragraph text. So in order to set a heading, headings help screen reader users as well because they can skip from heading to heading to heading. So you simply highlight the text you want to create as a heading. And in the Drupal editor, we go to this paragraph dropdown. and that allows us to set the heading structure. The title of the page is always a heading 1, which is why it's not in this list. So anything that's like a subsection of the page would be a heading 2. It's kind of like an outline style. So we select heading 2, and now the system has created this heading and tagged it as such. So a screen reader would identify that text as a heading to a screen reader user. Now, within the section of identifying content types, we're going to set toStyleAHeading as a heading number 3, heading level 3. So we have the page title is heading level 1, identifying content types is heading level 2. We're going to highlight the next text toStyleAHeading. Again, go to the paragraph dropdown and select a heading 3. And then again, we're going to scroll down just a little bit underneath our screenshots and our bullet points. We find toStyleAList. We're going to highlight that and come back up to the paragraph dropdown and set that as a heading 3. So setting headings is legitimately just as easy as clicking an option on a dropdown menu. It's the same way in Google Docs and Microsoft Word too. Again, this is Drupal specific, but in WordPress and other website platforms, it's most likely just as simple. You can just select which heading option you want. Now, within Drupal, it does not save anything automatically. So now that we've made these changes, I'm going to come up here to the top right-hand corner and hit the Save button to make sure that we hang on to those changes. So if we scroll down just a little bit, we can see our opening paragraphs, and then we have identifying content types, which is now a heading 2, toStyleAHeading, which is a heading 3, and toStyleAList, which is a heading 3 as well. Any questions about headings so far? If we come back into the edit mode, we'll come back to this identifying content types box. Structuring content is setting the headings, but it's also things like setting the lists and creating paragraphs and so on. So if you want to, I know this is a bulleted list, but it's broken up because it's got screenshots scattered in between. So to create a list, you simply highlight the text that you want as a list. And then we have the bulleted list option and the numbered list option up in the approximately the middle of the editor bar. And again, if you just hit one of those, it changes the text to a list, either bulleted or numbered. Really, the only difference between a bulleted list and a numbered list is sequence. For a bulleted list, the sequence doesn't necessarily matter. For a numbered list, the sequence does matter. It's not the end of the world if you use one over the other. There's just sometimes you might prefer to use a numbered list if there is a very specific sequence to the things that you are listing. It's also recommended that if you have a paragraph text and that you want to pull out a list of things, so like within this paragraph text, if you have 3 or more items that need to be a list, it's recommended to use bullets or numbers rather than having it in a paragraph style because it's easier to search. Again, visually, it's easier to search for. Screen readers will announce that it is a list of X number of items. So that helps, again, screen reader users as well. So these principles cover usability for sighted users as well as accessibility principle for people who might not be able to directly see the screen. All right, so we're going to move on from identifying content types. We're going to move to adding alt text. Now this one we have to navigate off this editing page. So what we're going to do is flip over here to the website accessibility page. And then within Drupal, we're going to come to the content area, which is the second icon within the admin panel on the left-hand side. And we're going to select the media tab. And if you noticed when I hovered over that second little icon, you can also get to the media tab from there as well. The media tab houses all of the things that are basically not pages. So any documents, JPEGs, PNGs, if you upload PDFs, that's a separate discussion, but anything that's not a Drupal page is found under this media tab section. So right here at the top, we've got a picture of students at a picnic table. We're going to go ahead and click on edit. so we can see that sort of in edit mode. There's no real photo editing capabilities within Drupal, so you can't make an image larger or smaller or crop or anything like that. But you will notice we have this alternative text box. That is where you want to put a very brief description of what the image is. All non-text elements need to have some sort of text equivalent, text description. So in it for images, that is an alt text. So you just very briefly describe what the image is portraying. In this case, we have students with laptops working outside at a picnic table. Very brief overview. This alt text is read by a screen reader because a person using a screen reader presumably cannot see the image. So the screen reader will read the text. Also, if you've ever loaded a web page and it has been like the images have been broken, it hasn't completely loaded, you'll notice a little gray box where the image is supposed to be. And if there is alt text, you will see that alt text on the gray box. So again, as a sighted user, on the case that there's an error with loading the page, alt text helps you understand what that image is supposed to be. So again, once you add the alt text, you want to save the page or save the image. And that pretty much covers alt text. We'll come back over here to our editing page. We'll open up this alt text component. And this just basically gives the same instructions that I provided. You can upload an image and add the alt text when you upload an image. Or if you upload an image into Drupal and don't add alt text, you can go back, as we just did, and add alt text after the fact, after it's already uploaded. You can also upload an image directly to a page, which it will then save into the media library, which is what we were just looking at. Or you can upload an image into the media library and then place it on the page later. So lots of flexibility, lots of different pathways to do the same basic thing. So on the web accessibility site page, this just goes through the specific actions of uploading the image, and then there's the text box that we just looked at, adding the alt text. So sometimes there's a lot of questions about alt text. How much information do I add? How much do I have to describe? How long can it be? You want to keep alt text very short and very concise and very to the point. I once met someone who was blind, and he told me, all I need to know is what I need to know. And I think that that's like one of the best descriptions of alt text. All I need to know is what I need to know. What is the purpose of that image? Why is it on the page? And what message are you trying to portray by using that image? And you want to answer those questions and boil it down to like one little simple sentence, and that's your alt text. You don't have to describe what the people are wearing necessarily. You don't necessarily need to describe whether it's sunny out or rainy out, or you just need to portray the meaning or the purpose of why the image is on the page. Any questions about alt text? That is a very gray, mushy area that can get a little bit, I don't know, confusing. People tend to overthink it. So just keep it short, keep it very simple. All right, moving on to embedding links. I mentioned earlier that sighted users and screen reader users can sort of skim or scan a page by using headings, right? We look for the big bold text. Screen reader users can jump from heading to heading. We can sort of do the same thing with links. Links are typically styled a little bit differently. We've associated underlines with links. So it has become recommended to try to avoid using underlining for just general emphasis. We want to reserve underlining for specifically clickable links because that's what we've become used to. I don't know that that's specifically a hard and fast rule, but I know me personally, when I'm on a website or I'm anywhere and I see something that's underlined, I get a little annoyed if I can't click on it. So that's what we've kind of been conditioned to do. Screen reader users can pull out a list of link text. So they can go through a web page and they can just listen to the link text. Keeping that in mind, we want the link text. We don't want to have full URLs, first of all, because screen readers will read the entire URL. And if you've ever really paid attention to a Google link, you don't want a screen reader reading that because it'll take 3.5 years. So you want to embed the URLs behind clickable text. Now that the next in the progression of links, the next best practice was to have the text be things like click here or learn more, right? Learn more about this thing that we're talking about. Click here for registration. Well, because screen reader users can pull out the link text and only hear the links, they would be listening to a web page with click here, learn more, visit us, click here, click here, click here. So if they have a long list of links that just say click here, they have no idea where they're clicking to. They can hear the links without any of the rest of the context. So again, sighted users can pretty much determine where the click here link goes because we can read the rest of the paragraph around it. Screen reader users, while they have that ability to read the whole page, it's much faster for them to pull the link text out and just hear the links. So you want the link text to describe where the link is going to land. So instead of saying click here, have the link text be register here or homepage or experiential learning. You want the link to determine where you want the link text to tell the reader where they're going to go. That was a very long explanation for this tiny little paragraph right here under embedding links. So to create a link is very simple. I'm a big fan of copy and paste. So I will always open up the destination page. We're going to go back here to the accessibility. We'll just go to the accessibility homepage. I go to the destination page and then come up to the very top of the browser, select the entire URL and copy it. Then when I'm on my edit page, all I need to do is highlight. There it is. For example, we will link to the digital accessibility homepage. We're going to link that text. In the editor bar, there's a little chain link icon approximately in the middle, right next to the bullets and numbers. Click on that and then paste your URL right into that box and then hit return or enter and it inserts it. And if we hover over that, we can see there's a little dotted line. It's easier to see in view mode than it is in edit mode. But if we hover over that, we can see that it's a green and it's got the little dotted line, which means that it is now linked. So again, similar to headings, headings is just a click on a drop-down menu. Adding links is just copying the URL, clicking on the link icon, and then pasting the URL in. But again, the bigger sort of mind flip is getting away from the click here and learn more. So sometimes we kind of have to restructure our sentences just a little bit and determine where the link text is going to take you. So we're going to save the page again just because. And then when we scroll down under identifying content types, adding alt text, embedding links, we scroll down here and there's our sentence with the digital accessibility homepage linked. And if we click on that, it takes us right to the homepage. Any questions on links? That, I think of the 5 principles, that one's probably the easiest for people to understand. Again, people sort of overthink things and like, well, what text should I put as the link? Again, you want to be very clear, very specific, and very short. You don't want to link full sentences and you don't want to link the full URL itself. So try to boil the wording down to just 2 or 3 words or a very short phrase and have that be your clickable text. The next principle is choosing clear wording and language. There gets to be a little bit of, well, this is again sort of a gray, mushy area. There gets to be a lot of questions around this principle, mainly from faculty members who say, like, oh, you want us to oversimplify things for our students or dumb things down. No, we don't want you to do that. That's not what this is about. The clear language principle helps an extraordinary number of people, basically. I don't list it here in this particular section, but clear language can help people who don't speak English as a first language. It can help people with cognitive or learning disabilities. It also helps people who have hit that cognitive wall when you read a sentence 3 times and you go, yeah, I have no idea what that just said. Like, I'm overtired. I've been working all day. I'm thinking about something else. My cognitive overload is just through the roof, and I'm not absorbing anything. So, clear language helps people understand where they are, helps people understand if this information pertains to them. Do I need to know what this information is? Do I need to pay attention? It also helps people understand the first time they see or hear it, or maybe the second time they see or hear it, what they need to do. They can follow instructions because it's very clear, it's very straightforward, it's very plain language. So this principle applies to general overall communication. It doesn't necessarily apply to specific course assignments, right? Like we're a higher education institution. We want to teach people things. In order to teach people things, we have to be very explicit and very in-depth, and we have to sometimes explain things that are a little bit over their heads. That's how we learn. We start by something new we don't know. Clear language is for very general communications, office memos, general emails, assignment overviews, not specific assignment instructions, but like assignment overviews. And again, general communications, things like that. So a little bit of a gray, mushy area. There often becomes a lot of questions. Please feel free to reach out to either myself or anyone else in the work group if you want clarification on anything specific, or if you have further questions about clear language. There's no real explanation or demonstration within Drupal aside from the headings that we already talked about, but clear language is not in how you present it on the web page. It's more of the wording that you're using. So this section kind of goes through everything that I just talked about. Helps people with learning or intellectual disabilities. It helps people with a high cognitive load, people whose primary language is not English. And then it breaks down some of the guidelines. Be very straightforward, clear, and concise. If you find yourself using very long sentences or very large words or word like jargon, industry jargon, things like that are very specific, you might want to kind of rethink things. Shorten them down, use clear and straightforward language instead of using lots of superfluous, flowery kind of words. Use simple sentence structure. Know your audience and use language they would be comfortable with. I think that's one of the most important ones. If you are giving a presentation to PhD candidates and you're explaining something very specific that those PhD candidates need to know, then by all means, use the language that those PhD candidates will be able to follow. If you are giving a presentation to a 100 level communications class for college freshmen, do not use PhD level wording because the college freshmen are not going to understand it. So know your audience, know the language they speak, and speak to them in a way that they would be comfortable with. Organize your content in a logical manner. I know I'm probably doing it right now. We kind of jump around a lot. We touch on one topic and then we sort of shift and then we kind of go back to the first topic. In writing, when you have time to really formulate and think things through and structure things, read through your writing or even put it through ChatGPT or some other AI, right? And like ask for a little bit of assistance in structuring that so that the entire thing is linear, so to speak. Try not to jump around and hit lots of different bullet points. When you are using paragraphs, stick to one topic or one idea per paragraph, right? And keep your paragraphs to like I'll say a minimal or reasonable length. You don't want a paragraph that's like 14 sentences long and talks about three different topics, right? People are going to lose track. So stick to one topic per paragraph, organize your content in a logical manner. I think this is another important point as well. Start with the most important information first. Give it to them straight up front and center. Don't make people dig for whatever the purpose is that you're providing that information, right? Give it to them straight up front. Use familiar wording, familiar language to help make sure that everybody gets the same information. Again, limit the jargon, specialized terminology, idioms, like raining cats and dogs, for example. People who are autistic do not always have the capability to determine that a phrase like raining cats and dogs is not literal. So I heard a story about a woman who had an autistic son, and anytime someone said, "Oh, it's raining cats and dogs," the kid thought that like literal cats and dogs were falling from the sky. So while general English, we may be able to understand that, people who don't speak English as a first language and people with certain cognitive impairments may not understand those phrases in the same way. So be wary and aware of the phrasing that you're using. Again, save that sort of terminology for the experts or experts in training. Know your audience and use the language that they're comfortable with. And then there is a link on the web accessibility page for Federal Plain Language Guidelines website. That kind of gives some examples of how to trim things down. I see it a lot of times in higher education on our websites, and not just Oswego, but like lots of different university websites. Because we're higher education, we tend to like speak on the website in a high level manner, which is not terrible in some instances. But again, for landing pages, department home pages, general communication for prospective students are not going to understand the high level high ed speak that we sometimes use. So really try to discern your wording and scale it back. I have two teenagers who live at home with me. Well, one of those teenagers is in college, but anyway, I have two children who basically still live at home, and I will ask them to read things. I'm like, I know you don't understand the context of what this says, but read this passage and explain to me what it's telling you. And if I can get them to do that, then I know that it's in more or less plain language. They can sort of pull out the main points of information from that passage. If they don't have any idea what that passage is saying, then I need to go back and rewrite it. Any questions about plain language, wording? Okay. All right. And then moving on to the last point, we'll talk about captions very quickly. Just like alt text, right? Alt text is the text equivalent for images. So for someone who can't directly see the image, a screen reader will read the alt text. The text equivalent for audio files, like videos or just straight up audio files, podcasts or whatever, is either captions or transcripts. Now, the difference is that captions are usually embedded within the video. So a lot of times on videos, website videos or YouTube videos or whatnot, you'll see the captions, you'll see the words on the video. Transcripts are a separate file. They are typically a document, a Word document of some sort. They will often have timing cues within them, and they'll identify who the speakers are. So transcripts are a separate file. You can download it You can read it completely independently of the audio file if you want. Captions are usually embedded within the file, within the video, and you can sort of read that along as you're watching the video. It's very important to have one or the other because, again, these are the text equivalents for someone who can't hear the video or the audio file, right? You want to be able to provide that person with the same information as someone who can hear it. Captions and transcripts sometimes include sounds that are not words, like laughter or sound effects or sad music playing in the background or leaves crunching as people are walking across a field or something like that. You might notice that in some of the videos that you watch. They have like the sound descriptions. Again, very obviously, captions help people who are deaf or hard of hearing. They also help non-native English speakers. They help people who might want to watch a video in either a very noisy or a very quiet environment, right? Like if you're in commuting on a bus or you're in the office and everybody around you is talking and you're trying to listen to this training video, you might have headphones, but if you forgot your headphones or whatever, captions will help you. On the opposite side of that, for a new parent who maybe has a newborn sleeping in their arms that you cannot put down, you don't want to be playing a video in full volume because it's going to wake up the baby. So again, you might have earbuds, you might not. Captions would help you if you want to remain silent or if you're working in the library or something to that effect. I posted something on LinkedIn, I think it was last month, it was a couple of weeks ago, asking about captions, and I got all sorts of responses. And people were like, yes, captions are on all the time. Like, it doesn't matter. Hearing impaired, not hearing impaired, completely deaf, whatever, doesn't matter. Most people, from what I'm understanding, use captions a lot. And me personally, I get aggravated if I try to watch a video and there's no captions. I'm perfectly hearing, I'm not hearing impaired. I can hear everything, almost everything. And it doesn't really matter what kind of environment I'm in. If there's no captions, I get annoyed. So keep that in mind, especially for faculty members. Um, you may have a student in your class who is hard of hearing or just prefers captions for whatever reason. Again, captions help with cognitive impairments and cognitive overload. Here's a good example. How many times have we been watching a TV show? Like, I'll take Game of Thrones, for example. I never really watched Game of Thrones, but anyway, made up characters, made up locations, right? Off in a foreign country somewhere. You're watching a show like that, and sometimes the names of places and people just kind of go over your head. Like, what was that? It wasn't Bill. It was some weird name that I don't remember and I can't pronounce. But if you have captions on, it sort of helps that information sink in a little bit better, especially if it's something we're unfamiliar with. So captions are extremely important if you're recording lectures or training videos or anything like that, and you're providing them to your students or whatever, your audience, you want to make sure that they have captions on them. And then again, transcripts, you don't, I'm going to say this out loud in a recorded video, and I hope this is correct. You don't necessarily need both captions and transcripts. One or the other generally suffices. However, if you want to be super diligent and you want to cover all of your bases and provide the same information to everyone that could possibly watch your video, you could do both. And there are easy ways to get transcripts. Of course, there are services that will provide transcripts for you. I have also found that if you upload short videos into AI, it may be able to provide transcripts as well. That's kind of an experiment that I don't have an exact answer for, but the capability is there. So, and we have a little more information on our video tutorials page. There's a link there as well. I know Dan Laird does a lot of the video captioning presentations. If you have very specific questions, I'm just gonna throw him out there. You're welcome to ask me. You're welcome to ask Dan. Again, you're welcome to contact any other member of the work group with specific questions, and we will do the best we can to either answer you or find someone who can answer you. So that basically goes over the principles. I will talk about color very quickly. Again, as I mentioned, we have color kind of built into the Drupal template, so we can't change a whole lot as far as color goes. For your own personal, like if you're creating graphs or if you have a personal website or whatnot, you want to be aware of color contrast. To meet accessibility standards, there has to be a certain ratio between the text and the background of the page. So dark text on a light background is the best for our eyes and our brains. Light text on a dark background also does work, but it takes a little more cognitive energy to read those. So you want to keep the light on the dark for like short passages or short sections. You wouldn't want this whole entire page to be light on dark. That being said, dark mode option is also good for accessibility. So if you have any control over a website that you're creating or maybe a document or something like that, having the dark mode option is a good thing. So we're not really going to we do still have some time, but I'm not going to get too deep into color today. That was not the purpose of this presentation. Again, feel free to reach out if you have specific color questions. Somewhere in here, and I'm trying to remember where, we do have a little more information about color. Basic principles, perhaps. Yeah, the basic principles has a little more information about color. Oh, one of the biggest points, though, that I will announce, I will say, don't rely on color alone to communicate information. So color contrast is extremely important, but a lot of times in documents and websites, people will want to like highlight something in a color or change the color of the text to make words stand out. This is problematic for people who are colorblind or people who have low vision impairments. It's also problematic for screen reader users because screen readers do not announce color. So if you change the color of your text, a screen reader user will not have any idea that that color is changed. If you want to use color to highlight or emphasize text, you always need to use a secondary attribute. So you want to make it bold. You want to make it italics. You want to, like in a graph or a chart sort of situation, you might want to put an outline around the bars or add patterns to bars on a graph to help differentiate them. So don't use color alone to highlight information. And then you want to check the color contrast. We have links on here for 2 different color contrast analyzers, which will tell you the hex code for the text versus the hex code of the background, whether that color combination passes or meets accessibility standards. So highly recommend checking those out. Those are great little tools. I use them all the time. This is on the basic principles page of the digital accessibility website. All right, I feel like I've covered a lot. I've talked for a very long time. Are there any questions from the audience at this moment? All right. I've got the links in the chat. Feel free to reach out if anybody has any questions or if you want any other links. I'm happy to help provide information, and I think we're going to leave it at that for today. So take a few minutes and downtime yourselves before you have to go into the next presentation.
Thank you, Kate.
All right. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you.